Hello dear students, in the subject water resource engineering, today I want to continue the abstraction. Today is the last portion of this module that I want to discuss. The remaining portion of this chapter, that is abstractions. In earlier classes we discussed about evaporation, the abstractions like interception, evaporation, transpiration, evapotranspiration, that we discussed. In this class, we will discuss about infiltration, W index and phi index. What is infiltration? Infiltration is the process in which water flows on the ground surface. Water on the ground surface flows into the soil. There are actually, depending upon the infiltration, along the depth of the soil, there are different zones, such as saturation zone, transition zone, transmission zone, and wetting zone. Initially, when moisture content is less, the water flows into a minimum depth of soil, that is called saturation zone here. Then if moisture content increases, then it will come to transition zone, then transmission zone, then the last, if we increase more up to fill capacity, because up to fill capacity the soil can hold the water. After that it will not, we cannot hold, that will be your gravity water. The water will join into the groundwater, that is the gravity water. So up to this fill capacity, the water can be held by the soil. So this zone, the last zone, is called wetting zone. Next is infiltration rate. The depth of water absorbed by the soil per unit time, it is called infiltration rate. It can be in mm per hour, it can be in centimeter per hour or centimeter per minute or mm per minute. Depth per unit time. Depth of water absorbed per unit time, that is called infiltration rate. Infiltration capacity is the maximum rate at which a given soil at a given time can absorb water. The maximum rate at which the soil can absorb water. The rate, like fill capacity, means maximum moisture can hold by the soil, by the soil is called fill capacity. Infiltration capacity, it is the maximum rate at which given soil at a given time can absorb water. Our change in time period, the infiltration capacity changes. Soil type changes, then infiltration capacity changes. If temperature of soil changes, then the capacity changes. This infiltration depends upon many factors. Let's first discuss these factors, then I will come to this. This infiltration rate depends on the characteristic of the soil. Means it is porosity of the soil, the size of the porous, means voids, that depends. The sandy soil, if you see the sandy soil and the clay soil, sandy soil can absorb more water than clay soil. We discussed in the last class that sandy soil can hold the water very less, where clay soil can hold more water. But the infiltration rate of clay soil is very less than the sandy loam. The sandy soil, suddenly the water penetrates into the soil, unlike in clay soil. In clay soil, the water easily cannot penetrate into the soil. So this plot, you can see here, from the start of infiltration, this is the infiltration capacity or infiltration rate. Here it will be maximum for a particular type of soil, let wet clay soil, clay loam. So it is maximum initially when you from the start of infiltration, from the start of supplying water, infiltration capacity gradually decreases and at last it becomes constant. Means at this point the soil attains the moisture content at field capacity. After that the soil cannot absorb water. The water which you are supplying to the soil, that water will simply drain away. Here also it is wet clay loam, it is dry clay loam. In dry clay loam obviously the infiltration will be little more because it is dry, it's wet. Wet sandy loam infiltration rate is more than clay loam, and in the wet sandy loam and the dry sandy loam. In dry sandy loam it is very high. So it depends upon the moisture content, current moisture content. If soil is more dry or wet. If it is wet, then obviously the infiltration rate will be very less. If it is dry, infiltration rate will be high. Soil temperature. If soil temperature is more, then it can absorb more water. Condition of soil surface. Soil surface, if it is smooth, like in Pakka roads, bitumen roads, buildings, the surface is smooth, then infiltration rate will be less. If it is rough surface, like in farmland, in rough surface, the infiltration rate will be high. Next is vegetative cover. Vegetative cover, this infiltration is usually affected by this vegetative cover. If it is a forest cover, whether it is a barren land, whether it is a farmland, whether it is a grassland, it depends upon the infiltration rate depends upon all these things. In farmland means during plowing time, your infiltration rate will be very high. If it is vegetative cover is there, then there will be infiltration rate. If there is no vegetation, there is open barren land, there is buildings, roads, then there will be infiltration rate will be very less. Next is classification. Now coming to this topic, that is the relationship between intensity of rainfall, this rate, maximum capacity, that is infiltration capacity, infiltration rate. When I is less than 5, means intensity of rainfall is less than infiltration capacity. Means intensity of rainfall means rate at which rainfall is occurring is less than the rate at which the soil can absorb. The maximum rate the soil can absorb. If rainfall is less, intensity of rainfall is less than this rate, then whatever the rainfall, that will be infiltration rate. Means that will be your infiltration. So the rate of means all water goes into the soil surface, means all water, there is no water which could be on the surface, so all water flows into the soil. So the rainfall intensity will be equal to the infiltration rate. When I is more than equal to FP, I means that intensity of rainfall is more, means rainfall intensity is more or excess of the infiltration capacity. Then the infiltration will be maximum up to this infiltration capacity. The infiltration rate will be at its maximum, that is infiltration capacity. Means Up to this FV, the soil can absorb water up to at this rate only. After that, since I is more, then all rainfall water cannot goes to into the soil. Rainfall water, some part of rainfall water will be all above the soil. That is called runoff. That is called runoff. Next is classification of this infiltration capacity. Depending upon the value, the infiltration capacity, if it is less than 2.5 mm per hour, it is called very low infiltration. If it is 2.5 to 12.5 mm per hour, it is called low infiltration. If it is in between 12.5 to 25 mm per hour, it is called medium. If it is more than 25 mm per hour, it is called high. This very low infiltration rate can be seen in highly clay soil. And low infiltration rate can be seen in clay soil or shallow soil, means small depth of soil. Medium infiltration rate can be seen in sandy loam, silty soil, and very high infiltration can be seen in deep sandy, well-drained aggregated soil. Means well-drained aggregated soil means well-drained aggregated means water can be drained away easily. That's why, like in sandy soil, so that this soil can absorb more water since it can be drained away easily. That's why for sandy soil, this infiltration capacity, it is called high infiltration capacity, which is more than 25. Next is the measurement of infiltration. The instrument or the device which is used to measure the infiltration is called infiltrometer. One is called simple infiltrometer, another is called double ring infiltrometer. What is simple ring? A simple infiltrometer is nothing but a tube. It's a ring, you can say ring, whose diameter is nearly 30 cm, and the total depth is 50 cm below the ground and 10 cm above ground, total 60 cm. The water can be poured into this at regular interval in the hollow of this tube to maintain 5 cm depth of water level above ground. To maintain 5 cm above ground level, to maintain 5 cm depth above ground level, the water is poured. It is maintained. So a pointer is fixed here at 5 cm above ground. The volume of water added at a regular interval is recorded. The volume of water we are adding into this tube is recorded. In this type of infiltrometer, the infiltration also takes place in surrounding soils below the tube. Therefore, the tube area do not represent the actual infiltration area. It means when we are pouring water into this simple infiltrometer, the water may spread into this side region, side soil. Okay, means this surrounding soil absorbs some water. However, when we are calculating the total volume of water here, we are calculating only this diameter, means this volume. The tube volume we are considering, means that's why this area, okay, this area, the area where infiltration occurring, this area is does not represented by this tube area. Tube area is very less, whereas the infiltration area is very high. That's why the error is very high. Error in calculating this infiltration rate is very high. That's why to avoid this error, okay, double ring infiltrometer is used. In this infiltrometer, there is one inner ring, there is one outer ring. This circular, it's like this circular. Okay. Okay. This is the inner ring. So here also same procedure is followed as mentioned in filtrometer. However, here in both tube water is added. Since in both tube water is added, there will be infiltration of the soil, okay, below the soil, okay, from this inner ring and also from the outer ring. So area here, since there is infiltration here in the outer ring, there will be no spreading of water to the surrounding. There will be no spreading of water. So whatever water we are putting into this small, into this inner ring, it will go vertically. There will no spreading because already the infiltration is happening here due to this outer portion, due to this outer ring. Therefore, the water will be simply vertical. So this area is represented, actually representing the infiltration area. This is the infiltration area, which is same. Infiltration area is same as this tube area. Here it is written, the outer ring provides water jacket to infiltrating water from the inner ring, which prevents spreading below the tube. So water is continued to add still constant infiltration rate is after. It is water is added here in the inner ring and continuously, and that the total volume of water you are adding that is recorded, and it should be continued till your infiltration rate, constant infiltration rate is achieved. Means there are no more absorption, means infiltration rate will be constant. Then usually this double ring infiltrometer is preferred. Next is infiltration capacity modeling. The cumulative infiltration capacity is given by this. Here this is the plot. This is the plot between infiltration rate or infiltration capacity and time. Initially there will be very high infiltration capacity. Suddenly it decreases and then gradually it becomes low. It's at this point of time, at when t equal to Tc, at this point the infiltration rate will be very low. Means after below this there will be no more infiltration. So the infiltration rate is happening at a particular time. If we are, means if we take integration from 0 to t and infiltration rate with respect to t, then total summation if you take, then means integration if you take, you will get the cumulative infiltration capacity. This is the cumulative infiltration capacity. The infiltration rate means infiltration, okay, occurring if we take a cumulative value, so it will increase like this. Next is the Hutton's equation. Infiltration rate curve follows exponential decay. As per Hutton's, this curve follows the exponential decay. So at any time t, infiltration capacity is expressed as Fc plus F0 minus Fc into e to the power minus kT. Means this is the curve. This curve is the follows the exponential decay curve. So here Fc at any time t, at the point, this is the time t. At this point time, at this time t, this is the F, okay, Fp at time t. So here it will be Fc plus F0, your maximum, F0 minus Fc into e to the power minus kHt, where kH is the Hutton's decay coefficient. It depends upon the soil type and vegetation. This F0 is the initial infiltration capacity on time t equal to 0. And final steady state, this is the final steady state infiltration capacity occurring at time t equal to Tc. So these are the parameters here. Kh is the hotness parameter, and if you have this f naught or fc, we can estimate the infiltration rate equation. If you take logarithm in both sides, if you take this fc to this side, this left side, and then you take ln, then ln f minus fc will be equal to minus kh t plus ln f naught minus fc minus kh t into plus ln f naught minus fc. This is in this form, y equal to mx plus c. This is y, this is m, here x is t plus c. So if you plot this graph between y and x, it means ln f minus fc and t, it will give you one straight line. It will give you one straight line, and this slope of this straight line is the here minus kh, and the intercept here, this intercept, okay, is ln f naught minus fc. Like this, we can solve this equation. We can estimate the parameters of the Hutton's equation. Next is Phillips equation. In Phillips equation, the cumulative infiltration rate is same. It is given by this st to the power half plus kt. K is the Darcy's hydraulic conductivity. S is a function of soil suction potential called subtractivity. So at any time, infiltration capacity is expressed as this F equal to half of st minus half plus k. So if we can plot this, okay, this if you can plot between Fp and t to the power minus half, we'll get this slope which is s by 2 and intercept which is k. So usually in actual practice, Hutton equation is usually used. It is widely used, but Phillips equation, there are other empirical equations are there like Kostyakov equation, Green-Amdo equations. Green-Amdo equation is also sometimes used. It is also important one. In Kostyakov equation, the cumulative infiltration capacity Ft is given by A into T to the power B. But T is the time T. It is the time. A and B are the constant local parameters. So if you plot this Fp and ln t, ln Fp and ln t, intercept will be ln A, slope will be B. So if we take ln both sides, this will be ln F equal to ln A plus B ln T. So in this case, ln A is the intercept and B is the slope. So if you can plot the ln F between ln F and ln T, will get, you can get A and B below. After that, you can get the equation. So the infiltration rate is given by AB into T to the power B minus 1. Another equation is Green-Amdo equation. It is actually based on Darcy's law, which says that the velocity of, means seepage velocity through which the water flows, by which the water flows into the soil, is directly proportional to the hydraulic gradient. Means B is directly proportional to HL H by L. It's hydraulic gradient. The cumulative infiltration capacity is given by this term K whole into 1 plus eta S minus by Fe, means that is the infiltration capacity, which can be expressed M plus N by Fp. But this eta is the porosity, capillary suction is C, Darcy's hydraulic conductivity is K, Green-Amdo parameter is M and N. So if we plot the graph between Fp and 1 by Fp, it will be a straight line, and which this is the form of y equal to mx plus c. Here the c will be your m, this intercept will be your m, and the m, that is the slope here. This is the slope is here. The m is the intercept, slope is the n. That is the slope of this curve. Next is infiltration indices. Average infiltration rate is called infiltration index. There are two types, one is phi index, another is W index. Phi index is the average rainfall above which the rainfall volume is equal to runoff volume. So this phi index can be obtained from rainfall heterograph. It means the average rainfall above which the rainfall volume is equal to runoff volume. Means if the rainfall exceeds this phi index, then that runoff volume will give the rainfall volume. It is obtained from rainfall heterograph. Heterograph means it is the bar plot between rainfall intensity and time. So for each time step, take in this phi or infiltration in phi index is the P minus R by T. The T is the duration of rainfall access. So R is the depth of direct runoff. P is the total precipitation. In this plot you can see this is the rainfall graph between rainfall intensity and the time. Here this is the plot, this is the flight index here. Here this the first time slot here for the first time period, that is here it is phi is more, rainfall is less. Rainfall is less, phi is more. That means whatever the rainfall, that will go into the infiltration. That is the loss infiltration. Well, in this case, this is more. This rainfall intensity is more than the this phi index. This is the phi index. This I is more than phi index. So this difference I minus phi, whatever the difference of rainfall is called excess rainfall, and that rain is called runoff. This portion is called runoff. For this time step, for the third time step, the excess water which is occurring after phi index is called runoff. This is called runoff. Next time step is called runoff. Next time step, this is called runoff. This phi is equal to P minus R by T. P is the precipitation, R is the runoff, T is the duration of excess rainfall. This duration of rainfall excess means the time period, or the time period where the phi index is less than the this rainfall intensity. It means for this portion, this bar, this bar, this bar, this bar, and this bar. Here in this case, this phi index is less than the rainfall intensity. Next, if I is less than this rainfall intensity and the phi index. If I is less than phi index, this rainfall intensity is like shown here. Rainfall intensity is less, means whatever rainfall is occurring, that is going to the loss as infiltration. Means there is no extra water which can cause runoff. Means that water which is more than phi index. If I is more than phi index, here if I is less than phi index, all rain means the infiltration rate will be equal to this intensity of rainfall, the rate at which rainfall occur. When I is more than equal to phi, means intensity of rainfall is more than phi. That means the loss can be maximum phi index and the extra, that is I minus phi, will be runoff. This I minus Fc, intensity minus maximum rate at which the soil can hold, into delta T, will be depth of direct runoff. Like here, you can say direct runoff means P minus phi delta T will be R. Next, we coming to rainfall depth in excess of phi index is called effective rainfall or rainfall excess. This duration from here to here, this is called TE, that is rainfall excess, duration of rainfall excess. This volume divided by the catchment area, this volume divided by catchment area will give the rainfall excess in depth. This is the total I, here I minus phi into delta T. I is in centimeter or mm per hour or centimeter per minute or mm per minute, means here phi also centimeter per hour or centimeter per minute. So into delta T, if you multiply the time, this time step, it will give you the runoff, this difference, this portion, runoff in depth, runoff depth in centimeter or mm. So when I becomes more than equal to phi index, like here, the depth of rainfall, this runoff will be equal to total precipitation minus phi index, means I minus, okay, phi index you can say there is also infiltration rate here, okay, maximum infiltration rate, that is the phi index into delta T. Next is the W index. In phi index, the interception, the initial loss is not taken into consideration, whereas in W index, it is also, although it is same as that phi index, here that one extra term is considered, that is called interception, that we discussed in the later classes. The interception is the initially when rainfall occurred due to the dry leaves and dry branches of vegetation may absorb some, or the dust also, that it may absorb some rainfall water. That is called initial losses or interception losses. Coming to this problem, let's solve this problem. A storm with 10 cm of precipitation produced a direct runoff of 5.8, means total direct runoff 5.8 is given. Total precipitation is 10 cm. The duration of the rainfall was 16 hours. Total duration is 16 hours. This time distribution is given below as phi index. Time distribution is given, but phi index, it does not mean that in 16-hour rainfall, the duration rainfall is 16 hours. So it does not mean that this phi index of the loss will occur for all the 16 hours. Means we don't know the duration of rainfall excess, in which time step the rainfall excess is occurring, or which time step the rainfall excess is not occurring, or which time step the rainfall intensity is less than the phi index, or which time step rainfall intensity is more than the phi index. Till these things we don't know, we cannot estimate the phi index. Here, this is the solution. Here the pulse number is given, first, second, third, fourth, eighth. Duration, the time duration 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 hour, 4 hour, an hour up to 16 hours. The cumulative, okay, this data is given, cumulative rainfall. Cumulative rainfall is given 0.413, 2.8, everything is given up to 10 cm. Total depth of rainfall is 10 cm. The incremental rainfall will be 0.4, 0.9, 1.5, 2.3, just difference of the these two terms. Okay, then intensity of rainfall can be calculated using this this incremental rainfall divided by depth divided by time, that is 2 hours. Here it will be 0.2, it will be 0.5, 0.75, 1.15 like this. So total duration is 16 hours, delta D is 2. Now let's assume in the first trial, because in the trial and error method only index can be estimated. Since we don't know for which duration the rainfall excess is occurring, for which duration the rainfall excess is not occurring. So if rainfall excess is not occurring after a particular period, then it is difficult to measure the total runoff depth. So let's on the first trial. Okay, assume that ME8 means number of pulses having rainfall excess, means all time step there is rainfall excess, means in all time step the intensity of rainfall is more than the phi index. So as per the formula, runoff is equal to, which is given 5.8 cm, will be equal to summation of this 8 time steps into I minus phi delta T. I is the infiltration rate, sorry, I is the this rainfall intensity minus phi into delta T. So here, if you take for the first time step, it will be this 0.2 I delta T minus phi delta T, summation of I delta T minus phi delta T. I delta T, it will be 0.2 into 2 plus 0.45 into 2 plus 0.75 into 2 plus 1.15 into 2, like this for whole time period. Minus phi delta T. Phi delta T is 2 hour, 2 hour, 2 hour, total is 16 hour, means minus 16 phi. This rainfall runoff data is given 5.8 cm. So this, after the losses, the runoff is the total precipitation minus the loss. Total is 10. Okay, 10 minus 16 pi is 5.8. So pi is 0.2638 centimeter per hour. Now we have to check whether the assumption is correct or not. Its number of pulses having rainfall excess is 8. Is for all pulses, the number of means rainfall excess is occurring. That we have to see. Here phi, this is not a phi, this is not a phi final value of the phi. So here phi is given 0.263. Here it is 0.2. Here it is 0.25. It means for these two time steps, the first and last time step, there is no rainfall excess. So whatever rainfall is occurring, that is going into the soil, that is infiltration. So here the assumption is wrong. So our assumption of number of all pulses the rainfall excess is occurring, that is wrong. Since it is less, so rainfall excess, there is no rainfall excess here, because here I is less than 5. In trial 2, let's out of this 2, since it's not final value, out of this 2, the least value we should omit, we should ignore. The first time step we should ignore. There is omit first pulse, that is 2 cm per hour. For remaining time step, then we repeat this calculation, since it is 8.8 the runoff. Okay, again this 0.45 into 2 plus 0.75 into 2 plus 1.15 into 0.9 into 2. Okay, so total for this, including this first pulse, from second 8 pulse, it will be 0.45 into 2 plus 0.75 2, that is P, that is I delta T. Okay, minus phi delta T will be total 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that will be plus 2, that will be total 7 into 7 times, so that will be 14 phi. So total I is this, Okay, is the phi is 14.5. So if you deduct, okay, run-up depth is given 5.8. So this, if you simplify, you will get phi equal to 0.271 centimeter per hour. We had in this trial, in the trial 2, we had removed this first time step. The remaining time step is given, but here 0.271 centimeter per hour is the phi rate. However, here the rainfall rate is 0.25, which is less than the phi. That means there is no excess rainfall here for this region. Whatever we assumed, that is wrong. For the second to seventh time step, okay, assume m equals 6, omit the last pulse. So first and last pulse both you omit and calculate the runoff. Runoff is 5.8 is equal to 0.5 into 2 plus 0.75 into 2 plus like this up to 0.5 into 2 minus 5. This time step we ignored, this time step also ignored. The remaining is 12 phi. So phi will be, runoff is 5.8, so phi will be 3. This 0.275 cm per hour. Now if you check, now phi is 0.275. Now if you check here 0.45, 0.75, 1.15, 0.9, 0.8, 0.5. So here phi is less than this rainfall intensity. That means from second to seventh falls, okay, there is phi is less than the I, which causes rainfall excess, which causes runoff, and that duration is called rainfall excess. Means your duration of rainfall excess will be 6. Means 6 slots, means 6 pulses, but the time is 12 hour. Time is 12 hour. Here from 2 to 7. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Total is 6 pulses. Each pulse 2. Total 12. Duration of rainfall excess is 12. And the rainfall excess occurring only in this 2 to 7 time step. So no pulse where I is less than 5. No pulse, there is no pulse which I is less than 5. It is 0.275. It is not less. We think there is, since all these values are more than 0.275, there will be runoff. So there will be runoff. So here, hence in this trial 3, it is correct. Now only the rainfall or the is rainfall excess occurring only from the second to seventh pulse. The final answer is 0.275 centimeter per hour. Thank you so much.